got two? Oh, you only got one? Oh, you're supposed to get two for me. Oh, you got two back? Oh, look right there. But that's back. You got two back? That's back. There you go. And on me. Anybody had two to 11? Yo, chill out. Yo, chill out. Hey, that was crazy. Hey, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Tuesday, November 30th, and I'm Darko. Welcome to this news bulletin, everyone. I'm going to cover just a variety of issues, anything from society to eugenics, a little bit back to global warming and climate change, which kind of falls under that too, and of course war on terror, liberty, sovereignty, although I'm probably going to be producing one later on today. So stick around for that. But you just saw just the insanity of what they call Black Friday. An insane skater, he made a really nice video, like a video blog, about his feelings on the whole Black Friday madness, because it was madness, it was insanity. But you know, it's pretty it's a pretty good example of what our society has become. You know, looking at that second video, I was watching the types of people that were coming in there, and I don't know if you noticed, but 90% of those people were obese. And I'm like, man, what is America? Because when I was, you know, I'm in sports broadcasting, and I was covering a professional hockey game, and I'm looking at people as, you know, they're all like, you know, they don't want to talk about a stateless society. They don't want to talk about any other solutions or options besides government or statism, and which basically to me means that they support statism. They love it. And then I'm covering this game, and we're doing the national anthem in the beginning of before the dropping of the puck, and you know, I'm looking at the fans, and probably about 1 out of every 5 had their hands on their hearts, and I'm not really big into nationalism or statism anymore, but you know, as a former Marine, you know, I was raised up with a lot of propaganda that you know, you should fight for the state and defend your country and your freedoms, and then I see what we've become, and it's just very, very sad. I don't know what these people are. They are plebs. They're fat, obese plebs, and they don't really have any thoughts of their own. They don't really care about freedom. As one individual said, freedom is overrated. That's how Americans feel, because they don't really want to be free. And So you just see that video, and you know, so they're not patriotic. They're just consumer slobs, and all they care about is themselves. And this is a very, very sad time for us, because when I see something like that, all I can think about is the powers that be and their eugenics program and what they have in store for these people and all of us, really, right? Hopefully that all of us that have been trying to put out this word of truth and basically freedom. I don't like to use the word liberty anymore, because it usually is associated with statism. It's freedom that's granted to you by the state, and that's liberty. It's not real freedom. So I like to talk about those things, and anybody out there that's talking about those, I just God bless you, and it's good to know that there's some people out there that, you know, don't have their heads completely up their asses. So we're going to move on to this next one. Hot Mike picks up discussion on Senate floor, quote, "It's all rigged." And this is for those of you who still think that statism works, and that you know, you can vote for your politicians, and you know, everything's going to be hunky-dory. A hot mic left on during a Senate vote Tuesday morning on the Food Safety Act, the Modernization Act, caught a senator complaining that the process of setting the agenda during the lame duck session is rigged. He said it's all rigged. The whole conversation is rigged, said Colorado Democrat Senator Michael Bennet. The fact that we don't get to a discussion before the break about what we're going to do in this lame duck is just rigged. You can go on and you can listen to what he's saying here.
There's nothing about it because it's all rigged. I mean, the whole conversation is rigged. The fact that we don't get to a discussion before the break about what we're going to do in the lame duck, it's just rigged. This stuff's rigged.
So there you go, folks. Sorry, I'm adjusting my microphone here, kind of doing a little impromptu here, but we're going to move on here. It says Climate Summit, will Cancun succeed where Copenhagen failed? Oh, so wonder why Copenhagen failed. It could have been maybe the fact that there was that big leak of data that basically showed that the scientists were manipulating buoy data to reflect that the temperatures of the water were cooler when they're actually warmer, along with a little known fact that the planet's actually been cooling over the past 10 years, not warming. So, you know, let's see, will they include that in this propaganda piece? No, I doubt it. So basically what we have here is just a cut and dry PR piece for the globalists to sell their carbon tax, their slave tax, which will fund their global government and go straight to the banks. You rest assured on that, people. But so building up to this Cancun summit, and now is basically going to be all over the media, and they're going to try to go at it again. Keep pushing. That's how the New World Order works. That's how the elites work. They just keep coming at you like a boxer. So I'm not even going to cover this because it's just pure rubbish, right? Crap. Garbage for the mind. Cannon fodder for the brain. So I'm going to keep moving here and get to the important stuff, because this is the stuff that actually is on the docket. It's on the agenda. Cancun Climate Change Summit, scientists call for rationing in developed world. And good God, dude, if the experts, the scientists, the analysis, if they really had total control of this planet, which they almost do, you know, look out, because your health is going to be attacked. Your life is going to be attacked by these people. They hate you. They hate humanity. They hate people. I'm not saying all scientists, but there's a certain breed of scientists, and they're the ones that are in control of this, what I refer to as a scientific dictatorship. So it says global warming is now such a serious threat to mankind. See, the ends justify the means, right? Very utilitarianist. And it says it's a serious enough threat to mankind that climate change experts are calling for Second World War style rationing in rich countries to bring down carbon emissions. So, and it said in a series of papers published by the Royal Society, physicists and chemists from some of the world's most respected scientific institutions, that means the ones that actually have the research funded by globalist eugenicists, and then are actually given credence to what they say, while people scientists that are are basically saying that the whole global warming theory is a fraud, are referred to as deniers, like Holocaust deniers or skeptics, right? And so we're going to keep moving on here. It's talking about rationing. And then this is China to prioritize compulsory energy conservation. China will move to gradually shift the current suggestive energy conservation policy to a mandatory policy according to the laws in the future, Deputy Director of the National Development and Reform Commission said on November 29th. Check this out, guys. I came across this, and Executive Summary, Political Climate Change Program 2009 to 2012 Mexico, Cancun, Mexico. So it just kicked off. That's why it's all in the media from COP16. We're going to move down here. Oh, let's see what it says here. I just want to read. United Nations Climate Change Conference, right? So it's brought to you by the global government. And you read down here, National Aspirational Reduction Targets for 2020 and 2030. Look what it says down here. Talking about the second stage, strengthening strategic large-scale adaptation capacities from 2013 to 2030, and it includes priorities attaining equilibrium between deforestation, degradation, restoration, and reforestation, and adopting and implementation of sustainable agricultural and livestock production systems. Now listen to this. The eradication of measures that encourage environmental degradation and cause GHG emissions, and it says greenhouse. That's right, greenhouse gas emissions, which CO2, I believe, consists of. Well, basically, CO2 adds up to about less than 1% of the total greenhouse gases. So, but most of the plebs and the slaves don't know that. So they just accept whatever they're told by the mainstream media. It's pretty sad. That's the modern man. That's the perfect man that Hitler was talking about. The implementation of relocation programs for human settlements and infrastructure in high-risk areas. The implementation of policies aimed at climate stability and sustainable development, which means eugenics. So just like I covered in the last video, as the Russians will be forcing their people, the biggest movement of populations into the cities from the rural areas since Soviet era, when Stalin did it by state order to move these people, relocate them into these eugenics hubs called super cities. So global warming has slowed down over the past 10 years, say scientists. This is from November 26, 2010. The rate at which global temperatures are rising has slowed in the past decade, scientists said today. So going to keep moving here. UNIPCC officials admit, quote, we redistribute the world's wealth by climate policy. So in other words, that's basically what he's saying. It's part of the communist planks redistribution of wealth. But it's not all lovey-dovey. It's about just control, using money to control people. ClimateGate U-turn, as scientists at Center of Roe admits, there has been no global warming since 1995. All these links will be posted. And it says UN panel issues 20 million carbon offsets. Moving on here, China actively addresses climate change. The trend of climate change in China is basically consistent with that of global warming. So China Meteorological Administration. I wonder if the Chinese Weather Modification Office falls under that department. They actually have a Weather Modification Office. Mexico president calls for a responsible response to climate change. So while his country has the whole drug war thing going on, and people are unarmed, heads are being decapitated, and you really don't want to go there. Madonna opens up right there in the heart of Mexico City for all the elitists, a nice little studio in that for classes and dancing. And the Mexico president calls for, curbing carbon to emissions. I think you have more priorities on your table there, buddy. Current emissions risk devastating temperature rise, scientists warn. So you see the conflicting stories, the double think, guys. Bolder climate deal needed to close emissions gap. Look at this. Energy Secretary, U.S. does not need 100%. They don't need 100% certainty to act on climate change. Well, that makes sense, because look at this. Playing God with the climate. Imagine a time in the not too distant future when scientists mimic effects of volcanic explosion in desperate bid to reverse global warming. Consider the climate emergency so severe that engineers create sulfuric sunscreen hoping to stop melting ice. So they're basically legitimizing spraying the skies is what they're already doing. Drug Enforcement Administration to put a temporary ban on synthetic marijuana. So please join me for part 2 of this news bulletin, everyone. Thank you.